Right, good day everyone. So today we are going to discuss chapter 11 of our subject strategic management. So it is entitled Corporate Governance and Business Ethics. So here are the contents that we are going to discuss: the roles of board of directors, ethical issues in strategic management, CSR or social responsibility and sustainability, and building an ethical organizational culture. Okay, to begin, let's proceed with the first topic, the roles of board of directors. Okay, so let's identify what is board of directors. Okay, it provides oversight and strategic guidance to an organization. So it's responsible for making major decisions, okay, setting policies, and ensuring the organization's long-term success. Okay, when we say board of directors, they are also responsible for the governance, oversight, and major decision making, representing the interests of the shareholder or stakeholders. Okay, so I have here a short video, so let's watch this.
You are on the board of a large nonprofit or an all-volunteer organization. You need to have a clear understanding of your role as a board member in contributing to your organization's mission. Legal compliance and financial oversight are certainly on the list of board responsibilities, but they are not enough for effective governance. We believe board members have 5 primary responsibilities: providing strategic leadership, managing for financial stability, serving as an ambassador for the organization, supporting and supervising the executive director or CEO, and ensuring healthy governance. Keep the board focused on the big picture and oriented to the future. Staff handle more of the day-to-day operations of running the organization. Let's start with leading strategically. This means you are in charge of the big picture. You are there to develop and communicate the organization's direction, goals, and a plan to get there. Nonprofits will periodically go through the strategic planning process, and this can be a time when your board can shine. Along with having a plan, leading strategically includes monitoring and evaluating programs, as well as monitoring outcomes, impact, and performance of the organization. Financial statements and planning documents are great tools to inform strategic leadership. Next, let's talk about financial stability. It's essential to an organization's viability and success, and a big part of your role. No matter your experience with finance, know that every nonprofit business model is different. Be sure you understand your organization's business model. You'll also need to ensure your organization has adequate infrastructure to create accurate and timely financials. Make sure you can understand your organization's financial reports. Develop strategies to fund your mission that are realistic and that support your organization's business model. Lastly, ensure you follow state and federal regulations. This includes 990 filings, audits, and registration with the Secretary of State and Attorney General. Another very important role you play as a board member is to be an ambassador, an advocate, a superhero even. You are expected to cultivate relationships that are beneficial to the organization's mission and strategic goals. Participate in fundraising efforts of your organization. This includes donating personally and supporting fund development in other ways, such as sharing fundraising efforts and events with your own network. And remember, the number one reason people join boards is because they were asked. Asking others to participate is part of being an ambassador. Listen to community members' needs related to your mission. Share the impact of your nonprofit on the community. Learn what tools are available to you to help tell your organization's story. Next, let's focus on how you support your organization's leader. Your role as a board includes supervising, supporting, and evaluating the performance of the executive director annually. You'll also recruit and hire the executive director or CEO. You should also have an emergency and long-term succession plan for the executive director. And hey, ask the executive director how they want to be supported. Different executive directors need different support from their boards. Last, let's talk about overall governance. When you are a board member, you do have some legal responsibilities: the duty of care, the duty of loyalty, and the duty of obedience. Duty of care means that as a board, you should be actively participating and attending meetings. Duty of loyalty means putting the interest of the organization first. If you have a conflict, be sure to disclose it. Duty of obedience means following the law, ensuring compliance, and reviewing bylaws. Your board should also reflect the community you are working within. That means recruiting and onboarding new board members that represent the full range of backgrounds, views, and experiences in your community. It's also important to have a mix of skills around the table. To keep board engagement up, you have to engage people based on both skills and on where their passions lie. Leading strategically, ensuring financial stability, being an ambassador, supporting your leader, and ensuring healthy governance. All of these are necessary all the time, but not always in the same dosage. Your focus will shift as your organization evolves. The board and how it spends its time will change over time. Effective boards are an important contributor to nonprofit mission success. It starts with understanding your roles and responsibilities.
All right, so that's it for the roles of board of directors. So now let's proceed with the next topic. Ethical issues in strategic management. Okay, so we have here four considerations no? In creating ethical considerations in strategic planning. No? It includes stakeholders' participation, organizational values, individuals' values, and managing change. Okay, so let's discuss this in detail. So first is stakeholders' participation. So when we say stakeholders' involvement, challenge your existing paradigm, no? Allows differing perspective and enhance support. Okay, so all of these help improve the chance that your organization strategy is developed with the information necessary to make decisions. Okay, so when you say stakeholders participation is the third acid test in creating your ethical value, no? So again, all organizations have a wide variety of stakeholders. So basically, any group, individual, or organization impacted by our operation is considered as stakeholders. So here are the different stakeholders no, in an organization. We have here internal stakeholders and external stakeholders. So internal, it includes employees, managers, and owners. Okay, we also have stakeholders, external stakeholders. It includes suppliers, society, government, creditors, shareholders, and customers. So it is very important that all of this, we consider all of your stakeholders to participate in creating your ethical value. Okay? Or you need to consider their concerns. Okay? Sige, let's proceed. So next is the ethical consideration in strategic planning. It also includes organizational value. So it is very important that as part of the next strategic planning process that you subject your strategy to those values, no? So if there are any issue or concern regarding how your strategy fits within those values, then you need to reassess your strategy. So it is very important to have your values first, and then from those values, no, i-align mo yung mga strategy plan mo for the next few years of your organization. So your organization strategy should be consistent, no? And support your organizational value. So organizational value is the second acid test in creating ethical values. So we have here how to define your company values. So keep it short, no? Stay specific, address internal and external goal, and make them unique. Okay? So the next consideration is individual values. No? To be able to say that you support the strategic direction of the organization, it is important that you can also say that the strategy is consistent with your personal values. So individual value is the third acid test in creating your ethical values. And last is yung managing change. So any significant change in strategy has corresponding change in organizational structure. So managing this change can be done in many ways. So ensuring that the change is managed in a way that it is consistent with the organizational values and your personal values is important. No? So here are additional questions in creating should be asked. Additional question that should be asked in managing change. First is, who will actually gain from this change? Let's say you are the CEO of the company. You have strategy to change a certain process or procedures. So you need to ask, who will actually gain this change? Okay? Who won't gain this from this change? Okay? So is the change worth the risk? Okay? How will we work with those affected by the change in order to assist them in making the transition? And how will we work with those that cannot make the transitions? So this will help you analyze if the change that you are going to do is really have an effect in your organization. Okay? So here is the last topic 3. Okay? So topic 3 is social responsibility and sustainability. Okay, let's identify what is CSR or corporate social responsibility. No? So when we say CSR, it is a business practice that consider the impact of a company on its society, employees, and other stakeholders. No? CSR strategy is implemented by an organization to minimize the harm, practice fair business, be responsible along a global supply chain, exercise philanthropy, and create a self-oriented human resource management system. So it is very important, that a company also have his CSR, it is part of the strategy ng ginagawa ng mga organizations. So on the other hand, when we say business sustainability, it is a comprehensive approach of a business management that works to maximize long-term economic, social, and environmental value. So sustainability aims to leave system capable of continued existence. So examples nito, yung environmental is environmental is part of the 3-dimension in sustainable business model, no? So, example ng environmental is include deforestation and burning fossil fuels, no? By harming environmental system, business prevent future generation from obtaining equal and environmental value. So, this is not sustainable, no? Another dimension in sustainable business model is yung social. No, when we say social naman, it refers to a business impact on social system. No, such systems include society, local communities, employees, consumer, and stakeholders. So if the business activities harm social system, degrading the well-being of a future generation, then operation is not socially sustainable. So the third dimension in sustainable business model is economic. For a business to survive, it has to be financially stable. Okay, so economic sustainability means meeting the financial needs of the business, funding business operations, and supporting sustainable social and environmental initiatives. Okay, so let's proceed with the difference ng CSR and corporate sustainability. So when it comes to the different of their meanings is sustainability. When we say sustainability, it is to be maintained at a certain rate or level. No? And responsibility, the state or fact of being accountable. When it comes to vision, CSR looks back and reflects on what the company has done to contribute to the society. When we say corporate sustainability, the vision is forward thinking, and looks to develop future strategy. When it comes to target, CSR often target opinion formers such as media, politician, pressure groups, focus on balancing current stakeholders' interest. On the other hand, corporate sustainability takes a more holistic approach, considering the social impacts from business alongside the environment and economy. So, corporate sustainability will always address yung multiple stakeholders and consider long-term impact. Okay? So this is our last topic, building an ethical organizational culture. Okay, we have here 5 ways to create a culture of ethics. Now, first is clear expectation of what is okay and not okay. So it says here, organization have both spoken and unspoken rules of guidelines on how to act. So this includes everything from attire, So every organization meron yung different culture. Yung iba, they use uniforms, okay? Nung pag pumapasok, o yung iba naman, ayaw nilang uniforms, they want all of their employees to come in the office with a formal attire. Yan. Tapos, every Friday, meron silang tinatawag na wash day. So, iba-iba. Depende sa culture ng organizations. Sa attitudes, sa behavior towards colleagues, customers, and the public. So, the culture can differ radically even within the same organizations. Many of the culture norms expectation of an organization are never expressed in writing. So, hindi naman sinusulat. Kunyari, yung organization, pag pumasok ka sa isang corporate, na-hire ka sa isang company, So, hindi yan nakasulat ko tulad ng mission, vision, tsaka yung value statement. Yung culture of ethics, expressed lang siya, implied lang siya, So, setting clear expectation and behavior among all members of the organization is the first step toward more ethical organizational culture. So, usually, ang ginagawa ng organization dito, they orient yung mga bago nilang employee, Sinasama nila yung explaining dun sa new employees yung culture ng business. So, they need to be like this, Kasi ganito yung gusto ng company. May mga ganyan companies, So, next is modeling desired behavior. So, especially mga organizational leaders, Sabi sa research sa Stanford Physiologist, among others, found that people tend to model their behavior after others, Especially leaders in a workplace. So, it is very important that the leaders really lead, they need to walk their talk, So, organization leader must model the desired behaviors they wish to cultivate within their organization. If the highest standard of ethics are desired within the organization, then profile leaders must demonstrate this standard, Their action often speak louder than their voice. So, if the leaders want kunyari, isa sa culture ethics ng isang organization nito is yung bawal malate, So, ang mangyayari niyan, ipapasa yan sa lahat ng employees. And dapat yung mga leaders na nagpapatupad na to, dapat sila rin, nakikita rin sa kanila yung example na to, Na hindi sila dapat nalilate. In order for them to be given respect with their subordinates. Okay? So, Number 3 is reinforce the behavior you want and don't reinforce the behavior that you don't want. Organization must be mindful and intentional about what behavior they want to reinforce and what behavior they don't want to reinforce. Offering opportunities with with recognition, award, and social reinforcement for desirable ethical behaviors can go away. Minsan, may mga company nagbibigay ng mga awards, no? Para at least ma-reinforce talaga yung mga ethics na gusto nilang ma-implement, no? Sa isang organizations. Yung mga HR, lalo na, no? Balik tayo doon sa example natin kanina, yung pagiging late, no? Meron silang mga, minsan, monetary award, no? Yung mga walang absences, may awards. At least, yung culture na to na gustong i-implement, no, ng isang organization na lalong namomotivate na yung mga employees to really stick with the standard, no. At least kung once na patuloy na naging hobby na, no, naging routine na hindi na nagiging late at nagiging culture na yun ng isang organization. So certainly, this reward or enforcement must be thoughtfully considered and delivered with careful attention to both the intended and unintended consequences of using them. Okay? Ito yung last two. Focus on skills building and problem solving. So institution can help by offering workshop, no, easy-to-use reference materials and peers or mentor consultation to develop effective ethical decision-making and behavioral skills, no, as well as strategies for resolving ethical dilemmas or troubles, no. So, yung last is provide the tools people need to act ethically. So, if our organization wants to create a culture of ethics, they must be sure members have the tools they need to do so, no? So, this includes adequate and appropriate training, consultation, modeling, and supervision. So, having an ethics ombudsman or point person for an organization can be especially valuable. He or she or his or her staff can provide a focal point for acquiring tools and resources to better help with ethical consultations. So that's it for 5 ways of creating a culture of ethics. So that's it for our chapter 11. Thank you for listening and see you next meeting.